Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's nice to see y'all. How has everyone been? It's been like, I think I posted a video last week or the week before, and it was a shipping video. I just been like, it's been crazy. I was on spring break last week for like all week, so I really wasn't even down here crafting at all. Like I was telling my Facebook friends, or if you are on Facebook, you heard me say that I didn't even like craft that much, and I wasn't even live very often. I think I went live like once. But yeah, I think one of them, and I think I went live twice. One time I designed, and one time I just came on and do a little update because I was like, oh my god, everyone thinks I probably died or something because they haven't seen me. So yeah, so I'm back today. I have a whole house to myself, so I was like, I can talk as loud as I want, I can go as long as I want, I can do whatever I want. So I was like, my mom and dad were like, we're gonna go to the store and we're gonna do it. I was like, nope, I gotta film for YouTube. I'm like, they come first. So we are gonna make an everyday Deco mesh wreath tonight, or today, or whatever time you're watching. It's nighttime for me. The sign we're gonna use says, bless this home with a cross. So it's an everyday design that you can use all year round. Maybe you're someone that doesn't want to spend $100 on a wreath for every season, and you're like, I'd rather just spend $100 on a beautiful wreath and be able to leave it up all year round. I don't really need to decorate with another wreath for this holiday or this holiday. I can leave it up all year round. This is the perfect wreath for you. So what you're gonna need is using this sign. You can use any sign. You can pretty much use this technique. We're gonna be using 2 rolls of 10-inch mesh. And you can use this in all different colors, whatever you want. Maybe you want to make a patriotic wreath, and maybe instead of this cream and jute mesh, you want to use a pink mesh, and maybe instead of this moss green, you want to use a blue mesh, or I think I said blue for both of those, like a blue or a pink, or whatever colors you want, pretty much. And maybe you want to use a flip-flop, or a patriotic sign. Whatever you want to do, you can pretty much do. We're going to be using a 15-inch work form. There's 18 ties on this. We're going to be using 4 different ribbons. So we have one set here that's 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch. There's 9 of each of those. So there's like 9 of each, so we'll have a set 9 of that set. And then we have 9 of each of these, 2.5 inch jute, or natural burlap, and then a brown. And there's 9 of each of those. So basically we have 9 sets of this, 9 sets of this, and a set is 1 of each. And they're cut at 13 inches, dovetailed on each end. These we have 36 of, I think, yeah, 36. You're gonna need 2 of them for each tie, and there's 18 ties, so 18 times 2, 36, cut at 10 inches. I cut those ahead of time because I didn't want it to be long. And then we got this value mesh. You can use any other mesh. This is just another roll of 10-inch mesh. For this, you're gonna need 36 of them, and you'll cut them at 10 inches, and it takes a full roll. So a full roll, so that's all you need. So make sure you cut them all at 10 inches. And then you're gonna use the full roll of this. Instead of cutting 36 of them, you're gonna cut 18 of them, but at 20 inches. So 20 inches for this, 18 of them, 10 inches of the other one, 36 of them. If that makes any sense, otherwise I will show you guys in a second. We're gonna cut this one together though, because I didn't cut this one, and I was like, well, I could just hang out with you guys. You guys can learn as we go. I hope you guys like the new camera angle. But yeah, let's get started. So these ones we're gonna cut at 20 inches. I'm gonna be using a rotary cutter. I prefer a rotary cutter. You can use a scissors if you don't have one. But I have a rotary cutter and a cutting mat, so I'm gonna use it. So all I'm gonna do is just take my mesh, roll it out, and cut at the 20-inch mark. So 20 inches. Now you don't really have to count for this because you're gonna use the full roll. If you do exactly 20 and you are pretty much what's it called, like perfect at it, or you stay at 20 inches, you don't go like all over the place, you will have exactly enough, so you won't even have to worry about counting, which is super nice for this technique. So let me know in the comments, y'all, how's your guys' been doing? Let me know if you've made Deco mesh wreaths before, or maybe you're a grapevine person. I don't know when the last time I made a Deco mesh wreath is. I'm gonna fast forward some parts of this, but I just want to kind of chat with you guys, and I fast forward a lot. I don't want this video to be too long, but I also want to be able to make sure I explain everything to you guys as you go. I know I was kind of bad at that, so I'm trying to get better. But yeah, so all you pretty much need for this, you guys, is just some ribbons, 2 rolls of mesh, a sign. I'm gonna make a bow for this, I think. I gotta figure that out. I'm thinking I'm gonna make a bow just because our sign's pretty pretty skinny, so I think it could just go in the middle if I wanted to, but I'm thinking a bow would be nice for this. So you don't even have to use 4 different ribbons. You could use 2 different ribbons. You could add all different, as many ribbons as you wanted. So yeah, there's plenty of techniques out there to do. For this green mesh, we're gonna be using just a ruffle. And then for the other mesh, the jute and cream, we're gonna be doing curls. So we're just gonna curl those up. So it goes pretty fast if you guys cut with a rotary cutter. Otherwise, you can just totally just take a ruler or a yardstick and then just measure 20 inches and cut it with a scissors. Whatever y'all want to do. So I don't know if I might need this at the end, and if I do, I'll take it off the roll, but I'm not really sure. And then all you do is you kind of just take your mesh, you flip it out, and I'm gonna need something heavy for this part because once you get towards the end of the roll, it likes to curl in more because it was tightly woven. But all you do basically is just take your mesh, where it tries to curl can go down, and then you just start in the middle and you just ruffle up. So in the middle, and you just walk your fingers up. So sometimes we do the woodland ruffle where you do like a curl at the end. We're not doing with this. So basically at the end of your mesh should look like a bow, like a little tie, like a little bow tie type thing. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your mesh and you're gonna add it into your ties. So I use a 15-inch work form. It's got 8 ties on the top and 10 on the bottom row. And I like these because they make nice full wreaths. Now, and the ties are already on there. Now, if you didn't want to go out and spend $6, $5, $7 on a work form, you could totally use like another form and just put the ties on yourself. I used to do that when I first started. Now, you have to kind of just measure out however you want. Every wreath is different, so I can't really just tell you how many ties you're gonna need for that. But I just like the work forms because as a business, it's a lot more work, lot less work to have to put the ties on, y'all. When I first started, like spending $1 from the Dollar Tree using a 14-inch form and then adding a pipe cleaners onto it was like not bad at the beginning. But once you guys start with a work form, you're like, holy moly, am I just like wasting my time with this? If you make a wreath like every so often, yeah, that's probably good for you. But if you make tons of wreaths and you try to sell them, y'all remember, time is money. So if you spend 20 minutes putting ties on your work form, that's 20 more minutes that you could have been spending making another wreath. Because all you got to do, y'all, is these things come like this. These ties were already on the form. You buy them with a form on it. That's why they're a little bit more, because they're done for you. But y'all, if I have to spend $4 more and save myself 10, because y'all, those things, sometimes it takes a while, depending how fast you are. And I just hated doing it personally. It was such a pain. Now the only time I do those is if I'm making a pancake wreath, and that's just a more flat wreath. So those ones, and I don't even use as many ties because those wreaths aren't as big. So maybe I will demonstrate how to do a pancake wreath sometime. And what a pancake wreath is, it's a nice full wreath yet. It's just not as full or like thick height-wise because it's meant to go in between a storm door and your front door. That's why it's called a pancake, because pancakes are flat. So it's more like it's still really nice and wide, and it's just not the depth isn't as much because it's got to fit between. So it's usually about 6 inches or less. And those are really nice to go, like, because where I live, like here in Wisconsin, most houses have a storm door and then their front door. So you could put it right outside your storm door, but a lot of people, like if it snows, like a lot of people put the wreath between. So a big wreath like this that's 10, 12 inches deep ain't gonna fit between your storm door. So we like to have pancake wreaths here. And I know if you guys go check out Miss Melly Mel on Facebook, Sincerely Creative Mom, that's what her page is. You guys check her page out. She does amazing. She's like specializes in pencil or in like the pancake wreaths So I would check her out. Yo, I'm not done with that yet, but I don't want to sit here and do this all. I pretty much told you guys everything I wanted to do. And I know a lot of you guys come on here and you don't want to sit here. On my Facebook Lives, if you want one more of a talking, takes a little bit longer, I kind of explain more. I pretty much on YouTube, y'all, I like to explain basically what you need to do. Then I like to put you on fast forward, or I just go to the next step, and I just come back when I need to show you guys what I'm doing next. That way it's not as long. I try to keep my videos under 30 minutes if I can. I know when I'm doing a full big wreath like this, sometimes it gets to be like 40-ish some minutes, but I try to keep it under, like totally under an hour. But I know some of my videos are a little bit longer, like when I'm working with Grapevine, it's pretty much just like, it's like just you're working as you go. But I'm gonna show you guys quick how I do this, and then I'm gonna finish the rest of the green. I still have to finish the rest of the green, and then I'm going to add this to it, and I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse. But all you do is you take a piece of this, and this way you want it where it curls up. Okay, before we wanted it where it can't curl up, and it will curl down like that, where the top of the mesh. But here we want the bottom of the mesh, and all you do is you take it and you just roll, just roll, like that, like a little roll. This is not even, it's about an inch wide, Okay, so you're gonna take two of those. So I'm gonna hold that one on my finger, otherwise you can use your Bodabra. Just kind of keep it pretty straight. Don't let it go like this, where it gets all like this. Look at y'all, that's janky. Where it's all crazy like that. Look at this one, it's nice and straight. This one's actually nice because it has the stripe of the white and the stripe of the jute, so you can just kind of line it up, and as you see how like the white is rolling on top of the white, you know you're straight. So nice and straight. And then what you do is you just take them. I leave like the end where I stopped, like you can see right here is where I stopped. I push that to the bottom, again here on the bottom, I push them to the bottom like that. I make an X, pinch it in the middle, like I do when I'm adding like my ribbons. And then all I do is I take them, I open my tie back up, and I place it on top of the tie, right on top of that green, y'all, that we had. And then I pull tight, and then I kind of just go like that. So basically you're gonna have one piece of green that's 20 inches, that's the ruffle, and then you're gonna have two of the curls on top of that. So you'll have one in each mesh. So you're gonna keep on doing that. I'm gonna go back around and finish the rest of the green. I still have this bottom here to do, but I didn't want to bore you guys with that. But all you guys do is you take two of them and curl them up, do the X just like that, and then I will come back. I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and I'm gonna come back once I have that whole entire all the ribbon on, or the mesh on, and then I will show you guys how to add your ribbon and then our sign. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I got the whole base done. So we got curls around the whole outside, the whole inside, as you guys can see. We can fix anything that was bad. I actually, when I was going, I actually did have to use that, like I said before I showed you guys, I was like, maybe I have to use the end of this 20-yard roll of that green. There was a little bit, not 20 yards, but there was the 20-inch pieces that we cut. There was that little bit of green left. I actually had to use that, so that means that there wasn't exactly 360 degrees or 360 inches of mesh on that roll. But there's no worries if it's like, if it's 15 inches, 10 inches, whatever it is. Still use it, just fill up that spot. Don't worry about opening another whole roll. You're not gonna see that at the end anyways. I always leave it to the bottom anyways. And then I still had like one 10-inch piece cut, and then this was the leftover of the mesh. So this one actually had more than 360 on it. Or all my measurements weren't exactly 10 inches. That could happen too. But what I want to do next is we're going to work on our ribbons. But before I do that, is I want to just quick get my staples into the sign. That way I can have receipts everywhere. Let's get out of here. Let me just cut this string off. I cut the string off. Some people will leave it on. I don't like it. Now what I do is, because I use a staple gun for my designs, is I just grab some foam and I just cut little pieces of it, and then I use that to, I layer 2 pieces of foam on my signs, on my signs, so that way the staples from the staple gun don't go through to the other side. So I just layer 2, and then I just grab 2 little pipe cleaners. Doesn't really matter what color they are. I'm gonna just use white because that will probably blend in the best. And then I just lay them on there. And then I just take my staple gun. That is probably out of staples. Why do I feel like it's out of staples? Yes, it is, y'all. So actually, I have the 5/8 inch staples, but if you get the one that's below this, there's another size, one below that, that's what you should get. I got the wrong size, and of course I got 2 boxes, and I was like, instead of just taking them back, I'm just gonna use them. So I would go smaller than 5/8 inch. There's another size. That way you don't have to worry about it going through. And I just use either 3 to 4 staples, and then as you can see, it didn't go through. If I went to put that foam there, it would have popped through, and you would have had little like staples things coming out the front, and obviously you don't want that. And then I'm a secure freak. If you don't know me, you know now. I like to add hot glue to the back of it yet, just because. So that's why I like to do that step right now, so that way the hot glue has time to dry before I have to worry about my sign. So I like to do that. You guys could use like the sticky these little cable tie mount things. I use those sometimes, but for metal, that's pretty much what I used to use them. But now I just use a jewelry punch, and I punch a hole right through them, and that way I know when I have a hole through them, and I put a pipe cleaner or a wire, it ain't going anywhere. So now what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna clean this stuff off. What I'm gonna do now is I want to take my ribbons. So now I have my ribbons. They're cut at 13 inches and they're dovetailed on each side. What a dovetail is just like that little V cut right there at the end that you guys can see. That is what a dovetail is. So I have 9 of the tan, 9 of the brown, 9 of the check, and 9 of the green. And the green is a 2.5 inch, and this is a 1.5 inch, 2.5, 1.5. 9 of each of them. So then I take them, and these are a set. So I have 9 of each set, and you need 18 sets. So I just split them in half. So you could have done, like you could do this set all the way around if you wanted it, not even have to do that. You just have to have 9 more of each of these. But I like to just do a variety of different things, so I get different colors in there. All I do is take it, line them up. You want it so whatever you layer it like you want to see it on the wreath, because you're gonna fold this in half, pinch in the middle, and this is how you're gonna add it in there. So if you would have done it the other way, your wreath would have looked like this. You want the 1.5, you want the smallest size on the top basically. Then you just pinch it, and you take it, and you add into whatever, you start off with whatever tie you want. I'm gonna just start off with this one, because that's the one I started off with. I always open my ties up when I'm done. You don't really have to. And then I just take them, and I take my ribbons. I bring them out to the end, so it's kind of like the tails come out to the end. And then I just like spread them apart. You can play with them, make them however you want. So basically, it looks like that. They just come out to the end. Then I just take my next ribbon, because I go back, I switch off. I line them up to the best. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. Pinch it in the middle. I just like to grab it. I like to fold mine down because then it gives it a better, once I get it onto the wreath, it just, for some reason, I just think it looks better. It kind of just like curves down a little bit more. I open my ties up like I said before. You don't have to. If you're adding a ton of stuff into your wreath, you might want to, because then you don't run out of tie, but you really shouldn't, because these ties are pretty long. And then I just, again, I like to pull them out. That way I can see all the ribbons. You could leave them layered on top of each other like we did when we put them on, but I like to spread them out. That way you can see them all. So basically, that is how you do it. And then next would be the green. I'll go all the way around this end. You'll have 4 of each, and then you'll go all the way around the other end. And I'll come back when I got that on, and then we'll add the side and we'll make a bow. Welcome back, y'all. So I got all the ribbons on, as you can see. There we go. They're all on, looking good. Now it's time for our sign, and it's time to make a bow. So what I like to do is I just like to place my sign on. I'm not gonna stick it on yet. Kind of just gonna figure out how I want it. I'm thinking we do a sign across the top here and a bow kind of down here. And then when we have it hanging, our sign will be kind of on an angle and our bow will be down here towards the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is not glue our sign in, but I'm gonna just attach our sign. So whatever ties, I'm kind of just gonna, if I have a tie that I'm going over that I'm not gonna see, I kind of just push them ties down. You can cut them off, but if you ain't gonna see them, why take the time to cut them? Because you're literally just going to be, it's just gonna be hanging underneath there, so that's totally fine with me. And so you could just add this straight into the middle if you wanted, and you don't even have to add a bow to this design. Maybe you're not very good with bows and you're like, oh my gosh, I struggle. Y'all could just come up with a little, put it right in the middle if you wanted. I kind of like the idea of having a bow. I don't know, I like making bows. I just think that if I can make the bow and I know it's gonna look good on here, go for it, right? Yo, and I have tutorials on here, I'm pretty sure, where I've made bows. Otherwise, I did do a class. It is over now, but it was really fun, and I taught people how to make bows, which was fun. So I did a class on it. I did it on a Facebook Live in a private group. It was like, I don't even know, like $10, and I taught them how to make like 20 different bows. I taught them how to use their bow dabra, how to do bows by hand, how to do them with the Easy Bow Maker, all the different makers. And I'm thinking about doing a rag bow. So a rag bow is what is back here. You guys can't see it, but it's made out of fabric. So it's made out of fabric. It's really fun, and it looks like a rag with the craziness and everything. And I think they're so much fun to make. And so I'm thinking about doing a class for that. That would be on my Facebook page. So I don't think I even introduced myself. I was just like designing over here, and I was like, I don't think I even introduced myself. So if you are new here, my name is Max, and I'm the owner and creator of MB Crafts, where we make wreaths, we make home decor, and we do a whole lot more. I have an Etsy shop. I will put it in the so y'all, I just came up with a new, it's not really a website, it's more like a dashboard. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna grab my Easy Bow, and we're gonna make a bow. So if you are like, oh, I don't know how to make a bow, here is your time to shine. So, I'm thinking about even, y'all, I'm gonna actually take you guys, I'm gonna put you guys on this smaller tripod, and you guys have a great view of this bow. So I'm gonna come back with you guys in a second when I have you on the new tripod. Okay, now you guys have a good view. I'm gonna have to make sure you guys can see this. So this is an Easy Bow. You can get it all over the place. TheMaxOut.com, which is Waterman's Loft. You can use White Bayou, Deco Exchange. I think you can get them on Amazon too. All over the place. But I like using this. If I had to pick of my favorite bow maker, it would be this. So I'm gonna take my ribbon. I'm gonna start off with a 2.5 inch. I'm gonna go to like a 15-inch tail. I think I want a little bit longer tails for this design. Remember, you can always, so I take it and I twist it. I'm not gonna do a whole in-depth video. I'm just gonna go along with this because of the fact that I had people pay for a class, and so I don't want to explain everything I did in the class to you guys for free, because that just wouldn't make any sense for the people that were in the class. So basically, you just do 6-inch tails, whatever, going along. I'm gonna do 2 of this one. But yeah, guys, I just came up with a new dashboard where I have all my links. It's called a link tree. All my links are on there, so affiliate links if you're looking for a place to get supplies from, which are crafting supplies. You guys can use the links that I use to shop and where I get my supplies from, because y'all know I get the best of the best, so that way you guys can get the best of the best. I actually found this ribbon. This one we didn't use yet, but don't think you guys have to use exactly what you did in your bow or in your wreath for your bow. You can add other ribbons, y'all. I actually love adding other ribbons, but just still make sure that it still goes with your theme. So don't just throw in an orange ribbon just because I said you can add any other ribbons. As you guys can see, we did have brown in this, and we did use a different brown ribbon, 1.5 inch, so we can add another brown. I just didn't have enough of this ribbon, to do all tails, but I knew I'd have enough just to make a use with the bow. So that's why I'm just gonna do it with the bow, because we're pretty much out. This is what I have left. There would have been not enough for the rest of our wreath. I'm gonna go to our green now. Now, our green is our accent color, so I thought a natural, like this would be more of a, I think this is more natural of a everyday wreath, so I figured green could be a good combination. You could use like a navy blue if you wanted, with your burlaps and browns and tans and that color, white. I just really liked the green, that green mesh that we used, kind of looked like it fit, so that is why I went with it. I'm gonna do, I do 2, 1, 2 when I do mine. So you guys saw I did 2 of the first ribbon, 1 of this that last ribbon. Now I'm doing 2 of this ribbon. I just think that helps a lot. This is more of a formal bow, so it doesn't have, you can do a funky bow, but I think, which has got tails going all over the place, but I think this wreath right here has, just needs just the normal bow. I think it's more traditional. It's not really funky, but if you're doing like a funky Christmas one that's real whimsical, or a springy one, or a funky patriotic one, you could totally do a funky bow, which they're really fun to make. Pretty much there's no rhyme or reason on doing a funky bow. It's just tails and loops all over the place. And you guys can tell I'm not doing a whole bunch of patterns on top of each other. I'm making sure all my patterns are pretty much staying away from each other. So I didn't do both of the stripes, and I have a lot of just solids for this one, just because a lot of the colors I had, that's pretty much all I had in the ribbon was solids. So I didn't really go out and buy supplies for this one. I just went to my stash. But you might have to go out and buy supplies if this is something you want to do just for you. A lot of these ribbons you can get at like Craft Outlet, themaxout.com, Deco Exchange has a great ribbon, White Bayou has amazing ribbon, the Wreath Shop, General Wholesale, all the places, y'all. And I will post my link in the description of this video. And then for this one, y'all, I'm just going to do, I don't know if I should just do a center loop or if I should just do, actually, I think I'm just going to do one on each side. I thought about just doing a loop in the center and not even doing these little other loops, and I kind of just look at them to make sure that they're about the same width, or they're both tails on each, or loops on each side are about the same size, not width. Same size, that way they're even on both sides and it'll make it look a little bit better. And then I'm just going to take a zip tie. I like to, especially when I have a big bow like this, I don't want to have just some janky little, you could just use a pipe cleaner if you wanted to. For my smaller bows I do, but I like to zip tie my stuff together because I know it's not going to come off then. Unless someone cuts the zip tie or somehow the zip tie comes loose, which, I mean, it could happen, but it's not going to be like, doesn't happen all that often. And then I just get a ribbon or a pipe cleaner that kind of matches. I saw green, so I'm just gonna grab my green, stick it in there, and then pull tight. Make sure this little square is in the back. You don't want it on the top because you might see it. And I always, when I use a zip tie, do a center loop, because our center loop will go over the zip tie, and then you won't see that zip tie there. Otherwise, if you use like you could use a pipe cleaner if you wanted, and if you didn't like the center loop, you could always use a pipe cleaner that matches, so that way if you see the pipe cleaner, it's not that big of a deal. Or you could stick an ornament in there, a piece of flower if you're going to be working with flowers. Now I'm going to put you guys back up on the big tripod so that you guys can see better, but I hope you got a good view of that bow from this tripod. Okay, so we're just got to get our bow situated now. So once you get your bow done, now it's when it's the most important part. You may make a bow and be like, oh my god, what in the world, it's ugly. But if you, and that might be because you didn't fluff it. fluffing you can be the best bow maker of all time, have the best ribbon, you could spend $1 million on a ribbon and put it all into a bow and then be like, oh my god, that's ugly because you didn't fluff it. If you don't fluff your bow, it's not gonna look good, y'all. If you leave it all flat like it was on the bow maker, that ain't gonna look good. You could fluff it as you're going, like spread your tails out as you're going on the bow. To me, it's a little bit harder to do that. For me, it looks good because then you can see what you're doing. But then when you take it off when you try to take it off to put the zip tie on it, it's so hard because there's ribbons going everywhere. I like to just leave it all in a straight, nice pile and then fluff it when I'm done. Because then now you can really pull on it. That's another reason why I like the zip ties, because now you can really pull on it. You don't have to worry about breaking the zip or the pipe cleaner or whatever. So now you just like pull it. Again, the 2-1-2 rule. So 2, 1 in the middle. This one's laying on top of that one, and the next one goes right over the top of that one. These 2 will go over the top of the 2, and then the 1. So as you guys can see now, it's nice and layered like that. So you do that to both sides. Kind of fix your tails. I don't really worry about my tails too much as I'm designing because I'll fix them later, but I kind of just like to get them out of my way. And then y'all, I don't worry about a whole lot of me doing this. I like to fluff it out right away. But then I kind of don't have to do it perfection because once I get onto my wreath, that's when I really like to give it a nice big fluff and really kind of go to town on it and make sure that everything's perfect. That is more because when I'm getting it on the wreath and I'm attaching it, things happen, y'all, and your bow's gonna get smashed. And so I like to wait till the end, okay? Y'all, I might even like this better. What do we think? Oh, what do we think? I keep on thinking I'm on a Facebook Live, y'all. So I'm like talking to you guys all. And then, no, I think I want to add it right here to the side. So I take my pipe cleaner. And again, this is what I'm saying, why I don't really fluff it a whole lot and get too particular with it when it's in my hands, because I'm adding it to the bow here now and it's going to go flying around. People do have like fluff boxes that they put it on, which is a nice heavy wood box that they attach their wreath to, and then they kind of just fluff it and they can pull on it more. I don't think that's big of a deal. Now, the only reason I would probably use one, I don't have one, but if I would end up using it for whatever reason, it'd probably just be because if I was using it for like a bow that I'm just gonna sell as a bow. Because y'all, people buy just bows. So maybe you're like, okay, I really like making bows, but I don't want to add it to my wreath, or like what other ways can I make what can I make a bow for? People love just buying bows. Like you could just, if you have an Etsy shop and you're just looking for something else to just like sell on there because you're like, oh, like not everyone, y'all, some people just buy bows. Some people can't make a bow, so they buy bows pre-done already that are like the nice ones, because y'all know the pre-done ones at the store are made out of cheap, like not even ribbon. It's like plasticky junk. And so some people still like a nice bow, but they just can't make it themselves, so they buy it. Or people just like, a lot of people still just use them for decoration. They add it to a banister. They like to add it to their lanterns, their mailboxes, their flagpoles, their maybe they're decorating their mantle and they need some bows to hang off. Maybe they're making a garland that they got, a fresh greenery garland, and they need something for Christmas. I sell a ton. Oh, another thing is tree topper bows. Those are a nice one. So if you know how to like adding all those ribbons and going all big and beyond is something that you love to do, y'all, Christmas time, people are looking for tree topper bows all the time. I've made tons of tree topper bows, and I'm talking about those big bows that people buy to add to the top of their tree. So instead of a star, some people like the ones with the. I always do the one, I make a couple smaller tails, and then I also have like the ribbon streamers that you can add down. Those are really nice. But yeah, y'all, so people will spend money on those. I've sold them for like $40, $50, y'all, because people want the good quality stuff. Those little janky ones that they have at the store, people, they're like, if I'm gonna spend $20, $25, $30 on some janky one, I might also just spend the extra $15, $20 and just go out and buy a nice quality one, friends. People are like that. Just because you think, oh my god, I would never spend that much on a bow, doesn't mean other people would, because y'all, I've sold them. And I've even done it where I just do custom. People message me and they say my Christmas tree's in the gold and white theme, or my Christmas tree's more snowmen, so I want more of the blues and the whites and the teals. Or people are like, I'm Santa, I want black and red and white. I'm more silver. Some people are like, I have a purple tree. Can you make me a bow that's purple? It has the purples and the whites and the pinks. So I like do custom ones too, kind of like a wreath, but custom bows. They're a big seller. Otherwise, y'all, you can make like a bow like this and you can sell that like a perfectly nice smaller bow, even though that's not really that small, but it's still a nice quality, like not as big as like a tree topper bow, but like a bow like that could go on like a flagpole or a banister. That would sell for $25, $30. I'd probably put that on my Etsy shop for like $30, y'all. I have some really pretty ones that I made that I have sold for like $40 that are just like good quality ribbons, y'all. So if you get really good at bows, that could be another thing that you can make profits off of, is bows. And just tell your customers, maybe you sell a wreath. I've done it plenty of times too, and y'all, I feel like I'm blabbering now. So pretty much all I'm doing right now is just taking my fingers and these leftover little curls that you can see around the whole edge. I took my finger and I just curl them up around my finger, and they just kind of look more like, it just looks like they were more of that wreath. As you could, I kind of just curled them up. It looks like they were part of the wreath. Oh, I actually like it. I don't know if I like it on a diagonal or if I like it. Friends, what do you, y'all drop in the comments below. Do you like it? Let me pull you guys up. Okay, sorry. Oh god, y'all. What are we hitting? Something making you guys tilt back. Do y'all like it on like a just straight up and down with the bow? Or do y'all think I should do it more like a tilt? I don't know. I guess you could pretty much do it any way. You could have also added the bow into the center if you wanted to. Of the, right down here in the center, not on the angle, but I like it kind of like on the angle. But what I was saying is, I've done this before, friends. I've had customers that are like, for instance, they bought this wreath right here, and they're like, I have a mailbox, and I like to match my bow. I like to put something on my mailbox that matches the wreath on my front door. So like, I think I did a flamingo one time, and the customer was like, could you make me a bow in that same ribbons or same colors to go along with my wreath so I could put it on my mailbox? So I made them a bow, and I charged them $30 more for their bow because it was a nice, pretty big bow. And people will do that, friends. They're like, if you can put it in your description, or you could even put it on your Etsy shop in the description box, matching mailbox bow / banister bow / or just matching bow, and then you could put etc. to be used for mailbox, banister, flagpole, whatever you want. And then if they want, they can pay an extra $30. So you just gotta make sure you have like the ribbons. I really don't do that on Etsy, but that's something I might think about start doing. But I always tell my customers too, is you guys can totally do that as well. If you guys want that, if you're good at making bows, if you want to do that, you guys totally could do that. And that's another way to make more money off selling that wreath. Or I've seen people that make like a matching centerpiece, and they do it as like set, so that way they have the centerpiece and the wreath that match. So yeah, there's plenty of different things you guys can do, but I think we're just like talking about bows, and I just got into it. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot from this design. It was so fun to make, and it's just like a total everyday wreath. I think it's so pretty, and I've probably bend my tails down, but I think that is just so gorgeous. And I don't know if I like it on a little angle. I think I like it on a little bit of an angle, but you could totally leave it up like that and then have your little bow down there. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you guys night, day, whatever time you're watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Go check out my Facebook page. Use the link in the bio, and you can access all my different pages on there. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, night. Subscribe, give this video a like, and comment any questions you have below. Thank you guys all for joining me, and make sure you guys go check out my videos and stay tuned to my next one. Bye-bye, everyone.